Hi everybody, welcome back. Democracy 3, we're in Canada. Still, talking about Canada. we're making laws, we're making policies, we're tackling crime in a future time in Canada. Organized crime was one of the things that we looked at. We managed to get rid of alcohol abuse, finally. Last episode, it was very good. It's no longer an issue in our country, in our society, which is very good. Pollution, an asthma epidemic, uncompetitive economy, and organized crime. But it sounds terrible, and it is, to be fair. They're all things that are affecting our country in a major way and that we need to start looking into and attacking. We also have a pretty big deficit that we want to work on clawing some money back, and it looks like trade unionists and increasingly patriots are becoming unhappy with our form of government. So there's some stuff that we could probably do to balance that out a bit. It looks like the wealthy and capitalists are a lot happier than they had been previously, thanks to the fact that we cut corporation tax in half, 10%. And we could maybe go further, possibly, we'll have to see. There's not much in the tax arena right now, is there? Look at that, there's only a couple of things. There's like the standard sort of fuel tax, alcohol tax, there's like I don't think there's like a GST, but there's like a sales tax, general sales tax, income tax, inheritance tax, corporation tax, cigarette tax. My fucking God. Just tax everywhere. Lots of tax. Which, you know, is the way that you have to do it more or less anyway. So let's take a look. Organized crime. How are we doing? It's coming down. Look at that. It's coming down a lot. Intelligence services we hadn't looked into. Neither had we looked into armed police. We'll look into those two first, and then we can start maybe looking into narcotics and legalized prostitution. I'm hoping that we don't have to touch either of those, but you never know. So let's take a look. Intelligence services. Where is intelligence services? We're going to have to hover over this and find it. I can't remember what the icon looks like. Oh yeah, it's this one. It looks like an injured spy. Look, it's James Bond after he's slipped and fell and he's got a bandage around his head. I think it's actually meant to be some glasses or whatever, but to me it always looks like a bandage. So there you go. Intelligence services. Here we go. A fairly unpopular one. Look at that. Popularity with voters. It's red, 7%, so it's 7% unpopular with voters, as far as I can tell. I might be wrong about that. Intelligence services, security services are an essential tool in the fight against organized crime and terrorism. Good, reliable intelligence can be difficult and expensive to obtain, and in many cases the methods employed can be unpopular with liberals and human rights advocates. So, as we can see, the liberals aren't very happy with intelligence services. However, patriots who are currently growing increasingly displeased with our government will be happy with anything that we do here. So we have a sizable spy agency at the moment. It's costing us 1.53 billion a quarter. If we prop this up a little bit, look at this. Organized crime takes a real dump. Look at that. High-tech spy service. Do we want to get into high-tech spy service? I think we do, actually. We're currently spending 1.5. I think we have enough to probably take that up to like, what, 1.8? 1.85? Even better. Look at that. We double the amount of negative impact that this has on organized crime, and that might help bring it right down and almost eliminate it altogether. The liberals, of course, are not going to be very happy with that overall, but crime takes a little bit of a hit as well, and overall crime, I think, will come down as a result of this. Lowering this, it costs us 8, and raising it costs us 7. So we'll be left with 20 man points after this. We currently have 27. William Khan is 62% effective at his job. Holy shit, he's doing very good. He's a real ladder climber, William Khan. Old Billy Khan. He really wants to make this his ultimate career, dream career of all time, and he's getting there. He is getting there through hard work, sheer perseverance. Billy Khan is going to be one of the best ministers out there, especially in the law and order arena. So there we go. Intelligence services, we're going to do it. We've now got into the realms of spy satellite network, which is crazy. 1.85 billion a quarter is what we're going to be spending on it, with some really huge ramifications to organized crime. We're going to do it. Fuck yeah. We did it. We've done it. Organized crime is going to take another gigantic hit, which is very good. Uncompetitive economy, how are we doing? Look at that. It's starting to come down a little bit. Productivity, we need to look at increasing productivity overall to help with this uncompetitive economy as well. Corporation tax being cut in half has had a really good effect so far, and will continue to as well into the future, I think. Let's take a look. Productivity. Where are you at? Uncompetitive economy. Productivity. There it is. Look at that. It's this one. It's this guy that's being attacked by 4 boxes. I don't know how he feels about that in general. I keep moving my mouse. I'm really sorry about that. It's very frustrating. Alcohol consumption, legal drug consumption, and international. What does that even say? That is international trade. All negatively impacting productivity at the moment. It looks like the GDP is negatively impacted by productivity, so not a great thing either. Maternity leave is having an effect on productivity. So is unemployment, or is that the other way around? Sorry, productivity is having a negative impact on unemployment, which is a good thing, actually. So if we increase productivity, we bring down unemployment, apparently, which is good. The asthma epidemic and general health, the health stats in general are bringing down productivity. And productivity is a really huge factor in this issue that we have of an uncompetitive economy. So we need to start looking at ways to increase productivity. Labor laws, which we touched on a couple episodes ago, we made some changes to. We can maybe switch around again now that the rail strike is gone. And technology grants. Look at that. Look at technology grants are having a boost on productivity as well. Let's start looking at the stuff that's boosting productivity first, see if we can get leverage some stuff out of that, and then we can move on to some of these things that are negatively impacting it. There's no actual policies apart from maternity leave that are having a negative impact on productivity, so we might be able to find some other policies that we can implement that'll help with productivity as well. So let's start with this one. We're going to start with technology grants. Look at that. It's fairly unpopular with voters. 20%. The government can provide state funding to encourage business to invest in new and exciting technologies. Look at that. John Gilmore, just as I said that, look at that massive smile on his face. He can't smile any more than that. He's had a lot of cosmetic surgery. His face is very stiff. Although this helps give us a competitive advantage and can create jobs, it can be argued that it's an unnecessary distortion of the market. Okay, fine. We'll give you that. It's an unnecessary distortion of the market, but it's good to invest in technologies, especially exciting technologies. I mean, holy shit, where would we be now if we didn't have exciting technologies? I don't think we'd be here without exciting new technologies, that's for sure. So here we go. What are we going to do? Currently, it's costing us $2.31 billion a quarter. We can move this up even more. Look, we still have 20 man fists left, and it's going to cost us 6 to raise this. We can increase this a little bit. I mean, what's a couple of extra billion to the deficit? Pfft, who cares? I mean, come on. Do you want maximum? Look at that. We go from 2.3 up to just shy of 3 billion. I think we could pretty much do that. Look at that. Religious membership takes a total shit. Unemployment is negatively impacted, which is good. Technology gets a little bit of a boost. GDP looks like it gets a little bit of a boost. Productivity is going to get a little bit of a boost, and capitalists are going to be fairly happy with this as well. Technology grants. It's going to take 2 turns of a delay to implement this. John Gilmore is 57% effective at pushing this through, apparently. John, whatever. You do it, okay? Fine, we're going to go for it? Yeah. There, we've done it. Maternity leave on productivity, sorry. This is going to be a little bit of a controversial one. To some people, ensuring that mothers have a right to maternity leave and to return to their jobs afterwards is a sign of a civilized society and one that encourages women to work. Some small businesses are concerned that it can be, or that it can put an unpredictable and even potentially crippling burden on an employer, especially where the number of employees is small. It could be argued that this actually encourages employers not to employ women. Look at that. This one is fairly popular with voters. Look at that, 60% positive popularity with voters. So changing this could impact it either way. John Gilmore is, of course, the man. He's the economic man in our cabinet. We haven't had to fire anyone yet. It's been pretty good going so far, actually. Parents, love this one. Productivity is currently taking a shit because of the fact that we're fully paying for women to be off on maternity leave. I mean, it is such an amazing perk to think that you can work at a company and that you can go on maternity leave. It doesn't actually say how long maternity leave is here, interestingly. I mean, in my experience, most of the time maternity leave is about 6 months, but I have known employers that have had like 1-2 years sometimes. That's a huge commitment, isn't it? If you're paying somebody full-time salary for the course of 2 years, you must really value that employee to get them back after 2 years. They might be a bit rusty, you know, they might have just like gotten into the mode of caring for a child, you know, giving the child milk and stuff like that, and just sort of following the routine of a child, and then having to go back into the workplace. Maybe they won't be as effective as they were before. There's so many arguments for and against. Full pay for this, look, it's going to cost us either way 7 man points to raise or lower this. Look at this, 3/4 pay, half pay. Quarter pay, that's on the extreme side. Do we want to say 3/4 pay, like the low end of 3/4 pay? It'll give us a little bit more productivity overall. Parents' income, parents' membership. You subscribe to be a parent, and subscriptions will go down as a result of this slider change. Trade unionists, of course, are going to be unhappy as well. An area in society that is already very unhappy, so we're going to have to work at maybe making them happy again. And parents, of course, will become a little bit unhappy as well. I think it's worth doing. 3/4 pay is very generous still. I mean, some places actually do have a policy for half pay, and some places just don't have maternity leave altogether. So they're not actually losing much here. 3/4 of pay, of course, is like a fairly big hit, but still, I think it's manageable. I don't think we're going to be too unpopular for doing this, and it's going to help productivity overall, which is a good thing. So let's do it. John, do it. Yes. John's done it. My God. He's shitting his pants right now. It's like so controversial. Okay. Let us go through the next turn. I don't think there's much that we can do here. We're keeping an eye on organized crime to see if it can go down. Patriotism is taking a bit of a dump. And trade unionists we need to do some work on next time as well. We still have outstanding issues in homelessness, also the uncompetitive economy, and pollution as well. Pollution being some sort of factor towards this as well. Well, no, it doesn't actually. It doesn't affect it at all. I think the only linked factor is the environment, and the environment is working overtime at eradicating pollution. See that? Look at that. Oh no, apparently apparently the environment is contributing to pollution somehow. I'm not sure how that works. We're gonna have to look into that next time. Next turn, I mean. Let's do it. Bam. We're avoiding real debates now. I love these little things. They're so good. Okay, we're back in our government. Look at that. Our credit rating's been downgraded. That's not the best, actually. Major international credit agencies have downgraded the status of your government's debt. This is likely to have a knock-on effect on GDP as foreign companies become wary of investing in our economy. It's okay. We're working on it right now. We're going to sort it out. Crime, look at that. It's at an all-time low. Holy crap. Unemployment's on the rise. Not very good. Our budget report states that our credit rating is worryingly just BBB. I literally have no idea what that means. The people are indifferent to your government. We've lost another percent. We're riding at 60%. Loyal and fair, according to the cabinet report. And the Human Rights Society are once again up to no good. Great. We're back. Organized crime, still an issue. But probably not for much longer. Look at that. It's taking a real dump. I hope it doesn't just level off there. I hope it goes down even further and maybe we get rid of it next turn. That would be nice. Is there anything else that we can look at? Security services we did some work on. Wiretapping. Wiretapping is currently not having an effect on organized crime. We probably need to look at that. We need a government decree to do a wiretap. I don't know if you've ever watched The Wire. Government decree, judicial order was enough in The Wire. And come on, if you watched all 5 seasons of The Wire, you'll know as well as I know that it was fantastic. And some of the best scenes were when McNulty was in with that judge trying to get those wiretaps ordered and stuff like that. And if you remember, Rawls and all those guys were just like having piss fits left, right, and center because the stats were going down and stuff like that. Wiretapping, from a law and order perspective, wiretapping is an essential weapon in the fight against organized crime and terrorism. It's true. The problem is that it's difficult to prevent misuse of such a system, and liberals are keen to point out how widespread wiretapping is a very sinister sign of a police state. So, once again, this theme of heading towards a police state with our monitoring bracelets on prisoners, also wiretapping, and our intelligence services operating spy satellites in Canada, if you could believe that. Crazy. The Liberals, once again, will be very outraged by this. Crime will take a big hit, and organized crime will take a very big hit as well. It's going to cost us $19.46 million per quarter to have this slid up to judicial order. We can go one further with this and have the police chief only need to consent, which takes a massive chunk out of crime and organized crime, but also puts us into the bad books in a major way with the Liberals. I think this might be just enough, actually, to get rid of organized crime with a judicial order. Seems a little bit more realistic. It's already going to cost us 19 man points to raise it just that one bar. So let's do it. William Khan, who is now 64% effective at his job, and that is just the biggest shit-eating grin I've ever seen on any man in my entire life. William Khan, we're doing it. You ready for this? He said he's ready. Great. Good job. Our deficit is $30.15 billion. We are adding lots of money to our debt. Let us take a look now then and see if there's anything that we can implement in the area of tax to make some money back. Health food subsidies. Look at this. It's going to cost us a tax incentive that makes healthy food, such as fruit and vegetables, cheaper than the higher fat or higher sugar foods. Be a real boon to health doing that. Enterprise investment scheme, another thing that's going to cost us. None of these so far are making us any money, apart from having a tax on recreational drugs. Now, we have actually legalized cannabis and marijuana. Apparently in another area of society somewhere. I can't remember which one it is. There's a temptation to treat consumption of these drugs as a source of government revenue, given the claims that their consumption should be politely discouraged due to the negative effects on citizens' health, in a similar way to governments taxing alcohol or tobacco. Well, if we're going to make money off taxing tobacco and alcohol, then why aren't we making money off taxing recreational drugs? We've legalized them. We might as well tax them and make some money off of it. It's going to be very unpopular with the 7% of voters that currently partake in recreational drug taking activity. But it's unfortunately one of the casualties of implementing a new tax, which is hopefully going to make us upwards of $943 million a quarter. Bam! Tristan Gretzky is all about taxing recreational drugs. Son of a bitch. In societies that have legalized, we went through all this, fine. The youth, of course, well, I say of course, but no, apparently just the youth get pretty pissed at the fact that they're going to have to pay tax on their drugs. Nice. The poor take a little bit of a hit as well, a negative hit, which I think is a good thing, actually. Poverty is increased slightly by the fact that we are going to be making money off of the sales of legal drugs in Canada. And legal drug consumption falls as a result as well, because some people are put off by the fact that they're going to have to actually pay some tax on this. So how much can we afford to do this? I'd say quite a bit, actually. Look, we're making the young and the poor hurt pretty bad for this, but we're also taking down legal drug consumption, which, I don't know if you remember, is actually impacting productivity in the nation as well. So bringing that down ever so slightly through tax, probably going to help our GDP and stuff overall in the end, and make our economy competitive once again as well. Let's try to just round this off at around 800 million income per quarter. Fantastic. Holy shit, Tristan Gretzky is on fire. Do it. He's done it. Wow. We are now making tax monies off of drugs. I bet you never thought that this day would come. Look at, holy shit. We're starting to sort of get through this a little bit quicker, actually. This first term is taking forever, but it's pretty interesting so far. It'll be interesting to see what happens next turn, actually. Let's do that quickly and then we'll wrap up. We'll see if we get rid of organized crime, and we'll see if we bring the deficit down a little bit. Bam! We only had 4 man points, so it's time to do it anyway. Making impossible promises and compiling misleading statistics. Fantastic. GDP, unchanged. Health, we need to work on. Education, it's fine for now. Crime is like at a complete and all-time low. We still haven't gotten rid of organized crime. I thought it would be here somewhere. But it's not. Poverty is on the rise, apparently, which is not a good thing. That'll be down to the fact that we're taxing drugs now. And we need to appoint a UN ambassador. Let's do that very quickly. Let us go for a popular figure on the international stage with a reputation for solving difficult problems through compromise and understanding. This is probably going to be very good for our foreign trade policies and stuff like that. Mason Pelletier, a very French-Canadian name as well. Mason, you're the man. You're the UN guy, or maybe it's a girl. I don't know. Mason, I don't know. We gained 2%. Look at that. We're back up 63%. On the polls, which is very good. Loyal and fair, according to the cabinet. Human Rights Society, still mad. And our government credit rating is still the same. It's a bad sign, apparently, but we're working on it. Bam. There we go. Capitalists and trade unionists are now both unhappy sections of the country for us. How are we doing with the old organized crime? Oh, look at that. It's gone. We've done it. We finally got to the stop trigger. Next turn, I think it'll be totally gone. We have 27 man points to work with. We will continue next time to keep our economy competitive, hopefully, or work at making it competitive once again. Homelessness, we'll need to tackle pollution, asthma epidemic, and of course organized crime, which is on the out. And then we're going to have to work at making some money. We still got a really big deficit that we're going to need to start chunking away at as well, which would be fairly good. And we'll see how we go. So, as usual, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.